Alright, we're now ready to start broaching out the bushing we've just put in. We've selected the same size brooch as last time. Insert it into the hole. Align it perpendicular across the plate, and then slowly do 6 or 7 turns and then remove the brooch. Test the pivot. It doesn't fit in, as we expected of course, but it doesn't fit in. So broach back into the bushing again. Another half dozen turns. Remove the brooch. And there we go. It fits in this time. And that seems to be pretty good. However, what we need to do now is put both plates together, and that way we'll know whether the bushing, this one is a tiny little bit tight there, I would think. So we're about to discover. Plates on. Align the bushing. Yep, you can see it doesn't spin. The one at the top is a little bit tight still. So another 4 turns on the brooch. Align it perpendicular. 1, 2, 3, 4. Remove. Put the plates together again. Align the pivot on the bush. Those pillars aligned. You can see that the pivot is coming through, but it's still a little bit tight. And we can tell which end is tight, because if we look down here, the shoulder of the arbor is sitting on the plate. And when we look in here, the shoulder of that arbor is not sitting on the plate there. So it means we'll put another 4 turns on the brooch, and we should be getting pretty close, I would think. Line the brooch perpendicular. Get it lined up, ready to roll. Alright, 1, 2, 3. And that slipped right through, so I'd say that would be pretty damn good. Line the pivot. There we go. And the posts and the plate, hold it down. Not quite spinning yet. Needs a little bit more at the top. I thought that would have done it, but not quite. And I think we run out of distance on our brooch, I think. Align it, get it perpendicular. Yep, we need to go up a size. Okay, remove the collar. It's got a good grip on that. That's better. Now we can take it out. The collar back into the pin vise. Put the jaws back on it, or the top back on it. Now we need to find a brooch that's slightly larger than that. I don't think so. We'll give it a try. Just makes it. Alright, we'll have to be very careful of that one. That's going to cut material very, very quickly. Put the brooch into the pin vise. That collar is playing hard to get on with. Let's open it up a tiny little bit. We'll see how it goes. Yep, just fits. Alright. Well, little bit of repair work on the way. That should now fit over there so that we can tighten it down. There we go. Right. Align our brooch again into the bushing, being aware that this is quite a large size brooch relative to the hole. Align it, get it perpendicular. We'll do 1, 2, 3, 4. Then remove it. We're down to the critical stage now, so we've got to be very, very careful with what we do. Wheel align. Posts in place. And there we go. Those two bushings are now correctly placed, and when we move the wheel backwards and forwards, you can see there's virtually no movement at all on both sides. There we have it. That's how easy it is to put in a bushing. If you've got a tool, whether it's a Bergeon or a KMW, doesn't matter. That's the way it's done. I've finished doing the bushings now that I'm going to use the machine for. So the last thing we do now, having tested each one individually, is we put all the wheels of the train in between the plates and then have a look to see how well they mesh together. And we're finding that these are still tight. The one that's a problem is the first wheel there. And having a look at it, we can see there's a gap, a serious gap in there between the pivot and the wheel that I can stick a pair of tweezers into. So that is obviously too tight at that end. This end down here seems to be all right. But what we have to do now is take the plates apart and broach that bushing out a little bit more. That's better. You can see the gap there quite easily. There's the gap there. There's the gap there. To bring that in so that we've got some end play, because there's absolutely no end play on that wheel there. So I'll remove these screws, put them back in the dish, take the top plate off, and it's that bushing there that we need to open up a tiny little bit. Being careful of the escape wheel because it's still half in the plate. Alright, we'll take a little bit more metal out of there using our broach. Not very much, keeping it at right angles to the plate. And that's the end of that broach. We're going to need another one, the next size up I think, which we had before. I'll take that out, swap the broach over. Put it into the pin vise, tighten it down. And back to that bushing there. We need to take just the smallest amount off. Align our broach 90 degrees all round and rotate it 3 or 4 times. I'll take the escape wheel out actually, that'll make it a lot quicker to check these other ones, because that's the tricky guy to get into his other bushing. There we go, that's got it out. Okay, back on again. I'll put a screw down there on that and that'll hold that. For the moment we only want it lightly, and I'll put one into there. That'll tie the plates down a little bit to make it a little bit easier for us to get all the pivots back into their bushes. Maintenance cam there, just about. Down a tiny little bit. Nope, they're all in the process of moving. Take the fly up for the moment, we'll put that in. once we've done the rest. Maintenance cam. Just there, but not quite. First wheel back in again. Third wheel align him, but it's a maintenance cam that's giving us a problem at the moment. So, once I've got that maintenance cam in, then the rest will probably drop into place, I would think. Alright, maintenance cam's right. First wheel. Up and over tiny. And now. And the third wheel. Back to there. Alright, that's got him. Now, hope everything's still in place. Yep, feels like it. Alright, what do we got? You can see that's turning very freely now. It wasn't before. That's because I broached that bushing out a tiny little bit. It's spinning nice and freely. Alright, so that shows that all those bushings are now correct. So the next thing we're going to do is I've left two. I've left that one and that one there. This one here we're going to use a broach on, and I'll show you how to use just a broach. One of these tools, not that one, it's too big, but one of these 5-sided tools, and we'll put a bushing into that hole there, and then we'll use on this hole here, we'll then use a reamer in a pin vise, and we'll ream that out, put a new bushing in it, and then you will have seen the 3 different ways we can bush a clock movement.